Hello and welcome to another session in English language. And today we are summarizing in a specified number of sentences. Okay, so under comprehension we are dealing with summarizing in a specified number of sentences. We'll also deal with intonation. And lastly, we'll deal with comparatives. But before we get into all of that today, let us review the previous lesson. Welcome back. So we begin today's lesson with comprehension, how to summarize in a specified number of sentences. So let's look at the following guidelines or tips or hints in summarizing in a specified number of sentences. One is learn to identify the main idea or argument of the passage. Okay? Remember, you have learned on how to skim and scan through the passage as quickly as you can. So learn to identify the main idea or argument of the passage. Secondly, you change the order of the material if it is to your own advantage to do so. So sometimes it's better you simplify it, you summarize. And summarize simply means in your own words. How do you best understand these things? Remember, the word summarize is associated with brevity, to be brief. Okay? So you can change the order of the material, not necessarily in the order in which the writer has written it. Okay? So as much as possible, use your own words to answer the question. Use your own words to answer the question. Okay? So don't mindlessly lift. Okay, you should answer in your own words. Also, the explanation in your own words must not distort the meaning of the passage. Like I said, don't violate the original intent on the writer's mind. Stay within the confines and context of what the writer intended. However, it doesn't stop you from writing or answering questions in your own words. And also, don't change the original writer's facts. Okay? It's very important that you take note of that. Okay? By your wrong choice of words. So sometimes when you're asked to replace certain words, I've told you check the class of that word. Is it a noun? Is it an adverb? Is it an adjective? Okay? Then if it's a verb, check what tense of verb is it. Is it a past tense verb, a present tense verb, or a future tense verb? If it's a noun, check the number. Is it a singular number or a plural number? So all these things are guidelines in helping you summarize in a specified number of sentences. Also, your answer to comprehension or summary questions must be short and clear. Okay? Must be short and clear. Please don't use ambiguous sentences. Please don't use coordinating conjunctions. Okay? Also, your answers must be written out in sentences and not phrases. Don't write your answers in phrases or clauses. Write them in sentences. Okay? Then, do not answer in form of paragraphs. Do not answer your question in form of what? Paragraphs. Just number your answers. Number your answers. Okay? Then don't join 2 points in one sentence. It's very wrong. Okay? Don't join 2 points in one sentence. Don't mumble up your points. Just itemize them. One sentence for each point. Then it's also important that you know that brevity and clarity is the essence of summary writing. So with that, we move to the next thing, and that is intonation. Intonation. Now, we have what you call the rising tone, and we have what you call the falling tone. The rising tone is indicated with the arrow going up and the falling tone with the arrow going down. Okay? So when do we use the rising tone and when do we use the falling tone? You use the rising tone under the following conditions. When you are making a request, use a rising tone. May I see your passport, please? Rising tone. Let me come in. Rising tone. Come here. Rising tone. Get out of the room. Rising tone. May I sit down? Rising tone. I would like to meet your friend. Rising tone. Could I have a look at those pictures? Rising tone. Simple greetings that attract quick responses. Good morning. Response. Morning. Well done. You use the rising tone. Okay? So that is that about that. So let's move on to comparatives. Now, comparative is the second degree of adjective. The second degree of comparison of adjective is what we refer to as what? Comparative. So we have the first, which is what? The positive degree. We have then what? The comparative degree. And then lastly, we have what is called the superlative degree. So we are saying comparative is the second degree of comparison. Okay? And in forming comparatives, we just add ER to the positive degree. We gave an example here. Big becoming bigger in the comparative. Small becoming what? Smaller. Fat. Or let's use fast becoming what? Faster. So you can add ER to the positive degree to form their comparatives. Okay? Then we add EST to the positive degree to form their superlative. Okay? So what are the functions of a comparative degree? It shows a higher degree of the quality of a thing. Tope is stronger than Caleb. It shows that in comparing two persons, Tope and Caleb, one of them is having a high degree of strength. So then we have our team is more popular than yours. Okay, so sometimes we could have also the formation of your comparative not following the regular pattern. So you add more to the positive degree. Okay, so the regular comparative adds ER to the positive degree. So we have poor, poorer, tall, taller, fat, fatter, big, bigger, short, shorter, cold, colder. Okay, so when we have more than 2 syllables, what do? We add more. Expensive. So because what? More expensive. There's nothing like expensive. It's more expensive, more important, more handsome, more beautiful, more intelligent. Like that. Okay? But when we are trying to show a decrease or decline in the quality of something, we use less. Like fortunate, if you want to show that the person, you say the person is less fortunate. But if there's an increase in the degree of fortune, you say more fortunate. Okay? So we have irregular comparatives. Irregular comparative do not follow the regular way of forming your comparatives in adjectives. For example, good becomes not gooder but better. Bad doesn't become badder but worse. Little does not become littler but less. Far does not become farer but what? Farther. So all these are what? Examples of irregular comparatives. So with this, we've come to the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. And to refresh your memory and recall all that has been taught in this lesson today, I'll need you to take the test that pops up on your screen now.